you know, all third party clips, basically stuff that isn't me, is all owned by the respective owners. And because I'm doing a film essay and criticism for, again, it's legal. YouTube has a copyright system and it's very much broken, and there's like several reasons why. One of them is the use of fair use on media, to use to educate and to educate. You know, either education and stuff such. Again, it's a very long thing here. Same thing with music. I might use some behind the clips, but when I used to get around the copyright box on that, is I'll use live recorded versions, because again, the copyright box will try to will only look for studio version, live versions, a different composition. It's a very much thing there. While I'm doing this, due to this video being just narration, I've misspelled do. I don't need to use too many locations. I do have plans to use locations like my house for like a few shots, basically because it's a comedic review. I'm just going to add a bit more moments of comedy. It's like there's a bit where I say I'm not artsy. There's cut to a picture of me, look decked out like some sort of man, like a very snobby person, while reading like a magazine while holding Schlur as a stand for wine. And another bit around the college show when I described Francis R. film, which was in black and white. I say 2013 was a big year for black and white movies, and this cuts to me in college and it's like black and white, and I just noticed things around me. Or a bit where at one point I go on a very long tangent and it's just cuts to me like editing this, and I just comment on it. Again, it's very much a comedic review, and you just cut right gags. Like the Family Guy, but they make sense. Who would watch this? People interested in films. Again, most of the films I'm talking about are independent films that only your artsy friend who talks about Wes Anderson like he's the next Jesus would talk about.
In terms of it being a video essay, then generally speaking, you may have, if it's an essay, you may have expert opinion.
It just means
as part of this. And even if you look at, say, the film reviews with Mark Kermode on the BBC for the weekend, there's a discussion going on about the films. And,
Paul Siskel and Ebert, because famously they were two, Kermode.
So you could have somebody who you put as a caption on the bottom of the screen.
But then again, it's just basically me being a bit more analytical and it's like a point of an explain essay, you get for English, but with pictures, moving ones.
Okay. But then you back up on some
clips and stuff, and
you back them up
with
that's why I've got other theoretical approaches.
Like then clips and stuff. Again, point out to explain. What will this cost? Again, not a lot due to this being a video essay. I do know you have to put the budget up, so I can just put stuff I might use like college equipment and stuff. It's like a microphone to record this, video camera to film the cutaways and stuff. And I do have
who watches Greta Gershwin movies?
People that's in the indie scene. Again, as I mentioned, people in independent films, those, or as I say, that one artsy friend who keeps on pushing you to watch The Cook and the Wife.
It's more art house.
That artsy friend you have.
Okay. So have you got any figures or statistics on cinema going for that? Where has it been somewhere like the Curzon or Corner House in Manchester?
It's just
you're looking at sort of independent art house.
Again, I just started looking at her work and just examining it.
Yeah.
Again,
okay. I mean, it's interesting to look at this in terms of production, distribution, and exhibition as well. I mean, it's a female filmmaker. How many female filmmakers can you think of?
Patty Jenkins, Catherine Bigelow.
Sophie Coppola.
Oh yeah.
Catherine Breillat. I mean, there's quite a few French ones, but
the woman who did the Watermelon Lady.
Dean Ramsey.
Yeah.
No, so there are, yeah.
Yeah, again,
But in that industry, is it? Yeah, it's quite a male-dominated industry. So maybe that's something that you might want to think about.
Yeah.
As part of that, I mean, does that mean that there's perhaps not as much money been spent on this film? Perhaps it's a lower budget.
Yeah. Again, most as I say, like these films are like very independent films. Like as I mentioned, like when I go through, like, oh, and this film starred like a very young Adam Driver before he was in Star Wars. This film has that bloke from Orange Is the New Black. This film has about Sting's daughter, and like so on and so forth.
Okay, but why would those actors want to be in that film?
Again, it's just basically just mention the cast list and stuff. But
why would the actors want to be in the film?
There's actors and stuff. Again, it's most films talk about the thematic elements and stuff, like, so and again, it's more a thematic thing, talking about like writing and stuff.
Yeah, but actors generally want to be in those kind of films because they think there might be Oscars in it.
Yeah.
Because it's more art. If it's more art house, it's more likely to attract an Oscar, which is why you find big Hollywood stars that act in relatively low budget independent art house movies.
Yeah. Or they've been out of work. That's another thing.
Some actors starting out, so I'm guessing the actor from Orange Is the New Black, because it's a Netflix series, it's not a series on TV, they'd want to do it for experience.
Again, it's very much one of these. Again, I'm mostly talking about the thematic elements. So like, so again, it'll be less more production, more like, oh yeah, and because again, I'm just talking about like recurring themes and stuff, and talk about that. And
are you arguing that we've got the emergence of an auteur?
Maybe not. Again, it's just like
obviously there's not enough films really.
Yeah, it's just like and again, I sort of look at her like career, like saying, oh yeah, she started out in Mumblecore, which was like Friends, but made up of a bunch of improv actors.
So you're going to be addressing things like auteur theory, things like theories of gender when applied to film. How are men and women represented in these films?
Yeah, it's just again, it's one of these such films.
Because if it's a film essay, it's gonna address theoretical stuff.
Again,
if it's just a film review, I mean, some of what you showed us there as examples are more sort of like film reviews. Yeah. And the Bob thing, in Bob We Trust, it's got the the screen is organised almost like a dollar bill because it's in God We Trust.
It's like Witness Names' show. He's so
that's more of a YouTuber.
Yeah, again, I did look at I also did look at like written things. Like I looked at Roger Ebert's like old like journals and stuff for like things. I also looked at a website called birthmovies.net, which was basically a
birth movies.
Yeah, like, again, it's like a movie site. They talk about all the Marvel films, and again, they like talk about all the elements. Like, Captain America is about interventionism and the effects of that. Guardians of the Galaxy is about like abuse and relationships, which again in the video I showed you was basically about that as well. Again, it's very much like essayists can say concerned subjects and stuff. And I'm trying to make
it themes. Yeah, okay.
Again, I'm trying to make it a bit more comedic, to be a bit more lighter, so I don't bog down in all the so I don't bog it down a little bit in all
the academic stuff.
Yeah.
You're probably going to want to mention stuff like the male gaze and that though, just because personally I think it's quite an important thing.
Yeah. Again, it's Any questions?
If it is, if it is an essay, then you need to apply some theoretical elements. You need to look at things like representation. If you are arguing that there are persistent themes and styles in Greta Gerwig's work, I know it's 2 films.
Yeah, she did 3 films. She wrote 2 films, which were directed by her boyfriend Noah Baumbach, and last year she directed one film, Lady Bird, which it's very much as I'm